Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm presenting to you a new replay commentary, 3 vs 3 31k rule set, a game that was played on Game Ranger. Let's quickly move to the teams and the players. So I am playing with Macedon. I've got 6 companion cavalry and 14 royal pikemen. Next to me I have my clanmate Mohamed, who is playing with the Greek cities, and he should be having 2, 4, 6, 8 creations, only 3 upgrades, and 12 gold Spartans. I guess so, right? Yeah. Then we have Sparky, another Titans member, who is playing with Pontus. He has 2 archer units, 12 bronze shield pikemen, and then he has 4 side chariots and 2 chariot archers. On the other team, playing with Senate, we have Nidintu from HoS clan, and he has got interesting army build with 8 auxiliary archers, 6 upgraded Praetorian cavalry, and 6 urban cohorts. And then we've got in the middle, playing with Brutii, Luke, another HoS member. He has got 3 auxiliary cav and 2 or 3. Let me see how many urban cohorts he has. 4, 8, then 6, 14. Yeah, I think 2. Should be 2. No, 3. Yeah, 3 archer auxilia, and then 3 auxiliary cav, and then 14 urban cohorts, and it should be having quite some money left in order to upgrade these urban cohorts. We see already 8 of them with so I saw 4 of them with 8 upgrades, and then 4 with 7 upgrades. Yeah, should be something like that. And then we've got Hamilkar Barca from FG clan, who's playing with Seleucid Empire. But interesting army build again from him, as he took only silver shield pikemen, 20 of them, and no other unit. So I think the advantage, considering the factions they've got, are on their sides, because 2 Romes give them more opportunities. But I'm a little bit skeptical about the army build they have, specifically with Seleucid. I think 20 pikemen with less upgrades on can't be that effective. I think they could have taken a little bit of an archer unit maybe if they wanted to take only pikemen, and some cavalry maybe could have been okay. But yeah, I think still it is manageable, considering 2 Roman factions are there. But also Nidintu simply gave away the opportunity of taking urban cohorts by preferring some auxiliary archers, and those archers are pretty strong. I think he wants to win the archer battle and then have some left to use them for the end battle or whatever he has in mind. We clearly want to have this archer battle to go on before any kind of engagements are going to happen, because we've got two archer vulnerable factions, specifically Pontus infantry are vulnerable even for the frontal damage. What we see here, Sparky has put two of his pikemen in loose formation to the flank. He simply wants to give Mohamed a space so that he can spread out his archers, and also Sparky is doing the same with his own archers. So it kinda lets us to effectively utilize our archer units. What we see here, Nidintu is pushing with 4 of his cavalry against the archer units Mohamed had. Seeing that, I moved my infantry force to a little bit left to cover those archers, and Mohamed had his archers taken back. But what we see now, overall, it's only archer war happening, nothing more is going on. So I'm gonna double speed it. I mean, what is happening right now works for us. I think if I would be in their position, would try to push a little bit before the archer war has gone into this phase. Maybe to push our archer forces back. You having the tomb roams would give them possibilities to do that, and while doing that, they might take some archer units, but also we will be forced to retreat back. So doing that will even may help them to inflict more casualties on our archer units. But I mean, it can still work. What they do right now, they are taking it easy, which is always the best decision, always secure. And what we see, they're clearly winning the archer war. On the right side of there, they already almost killed all of our archer units, only one left, and 2 others are heavily damaged. And we see right now Luke is moving his auxiliary cavalry a little bit forward, but then he stopped, as we see Sparky's infantry that he put in the flank initially also does not let Luke to do that very effectively. Meanwhile, Sparky is keeping most of his force ready and not very close to the range of the archer. They are still in range, but that being very close and being pushed at some point would probably make him to fall back. So he doesn't want that to happen. So he just takes it, and so he positions his infantry in a place that kind of danger would not happen. We're pretty much getting close to the end of the archer war. We see Mohamed and Sparky are advancing in the middle and in the right flank. I think right now the positioning of the factions is the best that maybe they would want. I mean, to be honest, the best would be to have Seleucids against Pontus infantry, and one of their Romes would defend against Greece, and then the other Rome tries to kill our pikemen. But again, if that positions would still go on like the one that we see right now, which means Rome's against Pikes and Spartans against Seleucids, that could still work pretty good, since Spartans are not that effective against pikemen, and Roman infantry simply slaughters pikemen, so that would still be going good. What we see here is kind of continuous positional switch. Simply Mohamed wants to catch Luke's infantry. Sparky, so we kind of hold the positions right here after Mohamed and I switched our positions. Meanwhile, Sparky is moving his chariots almost behind of enemy lines, and he's also pressing against Nidintu's infantry. I think the infantry superiority in number just says everything here. It gives more possibilities to Spark to use his infantry a little bit more confidently. Also, having not many archer left in their side lets us to use our chariot units a little bit confidently again, so that there is a less danger to get them mocked. So we have initial engagement here. I push with 4 of my pikemen. Eventually I have only 1 unit holding my whole 4 pikemen unit. I will try to hold this position here, then I split my infantry force up into 2, and then I fill the gap that we had between me and Sparky. It seems Mohamed is not rushing to engage, but what is interesting is the position that we put them right now. I don't really understand why they've gone into box, which is, I think, which was unnecessary. They simply accepted what we wanted to do and played it how we wanted them to play. So eventually, look at this, they have a huge box right now. And then another thing is, at this time we are not that much scared of getting isolated from each other, because the thing is, if you have the Roman faction, then I feel like doing this kind of moves that we do, there is bigger danger than doing it with the pikemen, because in that case, in case that you have the Roman faction, then they can use their cavalry, which is pretty much close to each other, and force your infantry to retreat or to kill them. But in that case, we are not scared of that factor. But the thing is, their strong cavalry doesn't mean a lot right now, and they simply refuse to take more infantry units. I mean, I understand Luke wanted to take stronger units by giving up the fact that he didn't want to take cavalry units, but I feel like sometimes numbers are better than having stronger units and less infantry or any other units. So if we manage to not let them to throw their pillars effectively, in that case specifically Luke, things will get more difficult for them. Mohamed, simply we see he's not being aggressive, he's taking his time, he waits for the perfect moment. Eventually they are catching the 2 pikemen of Hami, who were in loose formation. Also those pikemen, I'm pretty sure they are gold. And another thing right now here happens, if we have the units routed from the enemy side, that will mean these whole units have more chance to get affected by that. They're close. So as you see, these archer units and very unnecessary pikemen that are routed right now are dropping the moral of these units a lot. So if you see, you will say, if you check the unit units, the description, you'll see they are pretty much unhappy to have the other units routed, and now what we see is eventual mass rout. So these units are becoming less and less effective to hold against the push, and they're also less effective to fight against our units. Another thing, some units Hamil is using, he don't have them in phalanx formation. I feel like what he might have needed would be, for example, to split up his army and to help against his allies, while his allies to put some testudos in front of him or in the middle of his units. A good move by Nidintu. While I've been talking, he had been pushing one flank and killing some of my pikemen with his cavalry, but I think that he didn't do much of a damage, even though he routed a couple of them. I am being extremely defensive. I pull my infantry back. Whatever is happening here. Another good move by Sparky, as they don't have the archer units. What he's doing, he sees that already some units are routed. He brings those chariot units close. He doesn't want to push with them actually, but he wants to take the fear factor of those chariots. So some units are routed and then the chariots close, which again makes the infantry they have within the box more and more vulnerable. As you can see, it's like it's been totally easy for Sparky to rout with one chariot engagement, additional units, and eventually another units of Luke's will get routed too. Honestly, I still question why they wanted to go into the box. I think at some point you lose the positional advantage, but they could have just retreated back and just try to hold a straight line or whatever. But I don't think with two Roman factions you want to do that. So I think just at that point you want to benefit of the stronger faction that you have. I mean, how you use them sometimes I don't how to say that, like, even though Rome face to face is stronger than the pikemen, it doesn't mean that they will simply hold or just kill the pikemen pretty easy. They still need their time. Anyways, we have cavalry engagement here. I don't think I can win that cavalry battle against strong cav Nidintu had, and eventually we have got no enemy infantry left here. Yeah, I think that's been an interesting battle. I think they could have played it a little bit better. I mean, they could have played it much better. First, I don't think they had taken the very effective army builds, and that was one of the main reasons for us to dominate the battle and to get the positions that we had. But I get the idea they had. On the other hand, we pretty much had standard army builds, which is proven to be effective, and also the teamwork we had and what we had in mind helped us to manage to win the battle. I think that's been quite an interesting battle. Good kills for Mo and Sparky. Anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the battle, and I hope to see you guys very soon.